Hey guys, this is Dion here with Your Guitar Academy, and in today's lesson, we're going to learn how to play Highway to Hell by AC/DC. So what I love so much about the main riff in this tune is the use of silence. So it's the fact that you've got these big chords and there's lots of gaps in between them, and it really just makes it feel and sound so good. So the first part we're going to take a look at is that opening riff that also carries on through the verse. It sounds something like this. Okay, and then that just repeats again. So we're essentially, there's three chord shapes to note here. So we've got an A chord, we've got a D with an F sharp in the bass, and a G. And we're playing the AC/DC G, which is essentially like a big G power chord. So we're not using our first finger to get the third there. So yeah, A chord, we have the F sharp, that's using my thumb, if you take a look there. And then the G with the A string muted. So what's happening there is my second finger is touching against that A string, and then all the others. Like so, I've got my third finger on the third fret of B, fourth finger on the third fret of E. So what's really important with this song is making sure that you get it clean and you hit this guitar hard. So you don't want to be going like... this it requires a bit of power from your picking hand. So I like to play it all as downstrokes as well. So, you can whack it pretty hard, and it will kind of make the sound a bit crunchier as well. Because that's actually an interesting thing about AC/DC is that they don't actually really use that much gain distortion. They just have the amps really loud and hit it really hard. It's just a great tone. Okay, so let's talk about where this riff comes in. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So on the 3 and then 4 and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you see it's on the 3 and 4 and every time. What's important as well is the silence there. So you see I've played the A chord. We don't want any string noise, nothing like that in between. We just want complete silence. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you see what I'm doing here is using my thumb to play the root note there, D over F sharp, and then when I move to the G, the thumb comes away, the second finger comes up to get that root note of the G. Cool, and then again. If I count out loud, we can hear what it sounds like. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So there's so much syncopation here. There's lots of stuff happening on the off beats. That's why it's really important to try this super slow at first, if that's a challenge. I've got some drums here set to 80. Let's have a little play along with that and see what it feels like. 2, 1 and 2 and 3. I could play that riff all day. I just love it. It's so good. It's so satisfying to play as well. So this is a really good riff to learn for for anybody, but also for players that are fairly new to playing kind of rock guitar, but are familiar with open chord shapes, because this is a really good one that is obviously using open chords in this rock context, as opposed to a lot of rock riffs often use power chords and things like that. But This is a really good jangly open chord one. So that riff continues throughout the intro into the verse for quite a while until we hit the chorus. So what happens there is we go. So you see we're hitting an open E chord there to build into the chorus. And you can do that build as well there, kind of in line with the drums in the tune. It helps bring in the chorus. And the chorus sounds something like this. So we've got an A chord, and you see this is much more open now. Everything's ringing out nicely. We've left behind the kind of gaps from the riff and the verse, and we're just letting the chord ring out. So in terms of strumming pattern, it goes. So if I do that just without any chords, it goes. In fact, I'll do it with the drums, and we can kind of hear. Here we go. So you can split it into two sections. You can do that first half. And then the second half goes. Bum, 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 bum. The full thing. So you'll see when I'm strumming, my arm is continuing to move, much like we do with pretty much every strumming pattern. And let me try it with the actual chords now, and you can kind of hear it at 80. 2, 1, 2, 3. Let it ring out, and then we're back to the verse then. And there we go. And those are the two rhythm guitar parts in this tune. There's a little bit in the bridge just before the solo where we've got a D chord. And we'll move it to a D sus4, where we're bringing our fourth finger down there. And then apart from that, it's all the same, pretty much the same throughout. So that now brings us on to the solo. Okay, so the first lick of the solo, or should I say the first half, goes something like this. So notes-wise, we're starting with this really cool bluesy. That's like straight out of the blues playbook there. So 7th fret of G, and upper tone, and then we want to hit a double stop on the 5th fret of B and E strings, and it does that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go a double stop on the 7th fret of G and B. And I'm using my 3rd and 4th finger there. And you can kind of do this really cool dissonant sounding bend. So after that, we're going 5th fret of G, 7th fret of D, 7th fret of G, 5th fret of G. So. And then you want to hit the A string, open. And then the 4th fret of D, 2nd fret of D, 3rd fret of A, open A. So the whole thing so far, I'm going to put a little bit more gain on. Oh. And the full speed. Really cool, super melodic. Love that lick. Okay, cool. The next part goes something like this. So this is kind of now implying a sort of major pentatonic sound. Bit tricky this because we've got to bend whilst holding down the top notes as well. So start on the 2nd fret of G, then up a tone on the 4th fret. So you see what I've done there is bend up on the 4th fret of G, and then grabbing the 5th fret of E and B with my 4th finger. So we've done that. Release to the 2nd fret, then slide up to the 5th fret of D, and then two hits on the double stop of 5th fret of G and B. So let me just play that bit again for you. So. And then we go. So that part there. So there we've done double stop, 7th fret of D, open A, 5th fret of D, 7th fret of D again, and then, okay, that's the 5th fret of E, B, G, and then we slide up with our 2nd finger to the 11th fret of G, and then the 10th fret of B, and then again. So that whole second part goes. Like so. So the full thing. Really fun solo to play. And it's not like super fast. There's nothing like crazy going on like speed wise. It's just really great and really melodic. And it weaves its way between that kind of minor pentatonic and major pentatonic thing so nicely, as Angus Young is so famous for. I'm just going to play it along with the drums just a bit slower and we can hear that in context. And there we go. Great solo. If you're new to kind of playing lead guitar, this is quite a good one to sort of get your teeth into and kind of like learn from the off, because as I said, it's not crazy technical. I mean, the bend is quite challenging, but in terms of speed, it's very, very friendly if you're new to this type of thing. So in summary, we have essentially 3 parts to this tune. We've got our main riff. And then we've got our chorus. And then we have our solo. Here we go. And then it goes into another chorus, and that's it. That's the beauty of this song, is in its simplicity. So take your time with that. break everything down into smaller segments if you're finding it difficult, or sections as well. And yeah, most importantly, just have fun with it. So enjoy that one, and I'll see you in the next video.